Hey, One Team One podcast is back. No, we'll do the.
Oh, wow.
Do we want to start all the way over or what?
One Team Media.
We showed you what the GOAT was last year when we beat y'all 50-7.
Let's go! One team!
Relax, big boy.
One Team One podcast.
Team One podcast?
One Team One podcast?
Yeah, they did a good job.
Really good job.
Yeah. Why is he so fat?
One Team One podcast. One Team One podcast. One Team One podcast.
One
Team One podcast.
One Team One podcast back. Episode 82. Lots to talk about today. Wendell Davis.
DJ Shark.
DJ Shark.
Yeah, we're only 18 away.
Hey,
James Wright.
Bank of England Mortgage. We need to give a big shout out to Patrick Michelson at Bank of England Mortgage, our sponsor for all of our audio episodes for One Team One podcast is Bank of England Mortgage. Reach out to those guys about refis or mortgages. They have been a huge supporter of One Team One podcast. We appreciate him. All right, lots going on.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I think that is going on is the Texas and Oklahoma has reached out to the SEC about joining the conference.
Right.
So I think we both think that Jude is joining us too in the chat. Jude has got his tie on. So Jude is looking super dapper right now in the chat.
He's just a good old boy.
Yeah, Jude. If you guys see Jude out in tailgate, you will notice his tie. That is going to be his trademark going forward. He doesn't know that yet. And his mullet. He's got
the tie and mullet,
flowing locks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Purchase.
yeah, Jude. The Louisiana Purchase is what he calls it.
And if you see that guy, just feed him beers.
Just he will delete beers.
he calls them some dirty Palmers. Is that what he calls them?
Hard Palmers.
Hard Palmers.
Hard Palmers.
They're
And he likes
daily.
the Rocky Mountains.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So
Some say he looks like a young Tom Hanks. And, I see it. As a matter of fact, I see it.
all right. All right, lots to get to with this Texas OU stuff.
Sure.
And they have, and this happened right at, you mentioned this earlier, like they did this right in the middle of Texas A&M's media day, right?
Yeah.
It just got dropped all of a sudden. Like
I said that during our little warm up that we just
yeah,
did.
exactly.
Well, all right. Yeah, I messed up, guys. We might have started this segment earlier. I'm going to bring Jude in for this too. We might have started this segment earlier, like probably 10, 15 minutes ago.
You would be surprised how many times we actually did that before we started doing like live shows.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we look great though. We look better than we did that 10 minutes ago. So I'll give you
we
that.
did.
I'll give us that.
No, we're about to kill this OU segment.
I'm
now
about
that
to,
that's the second time.
Yeah, I'm about a half an old fashioned in since then. So we're good now.
I do love the OU Texas talk, and Jude had a great point in our show prep that he brought up, and I kind of want to put that back on the table for us to kind of set it.
What was that?
Well, fire smoke, there tends to be fire, and this is a story as long as ago. When conference realignment coming back, and OU, they wanted to go to the best coast, or in my opinion, the worst coast, the West Coast, and Pac-12, and that's why Nebraska Big Ten. And so there seems to be a jumping off the Big 12 ship between some of these, especially the major powers, those big three. And so we might be seeing it again. Who knows?
All right, thanks, Jude. That was a great job. I appreciate that. Yeah, good job. All right, and that was
so.
Jude.
All right, so Jude is basically saying that they've been trying to get away from the Big 12 for such a long time, and now here's their real chance is to go to the SEC. And when that happened, when they tried to go to the Pac-12, they were just starting the Longhorn Network, and A&M left to go to the SEC.
Right.
So, and then Nebraska left to go to the Big Ten. Like
Colorado left same time.
Yeah, Colorado. I mean, the old Big 8 was to me like a big time conference. The old Big 8. It was Colorado, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Missouri.
So they had those 3 teams leave, and then they added TCU, West Virginia, and what else?
Iowa State, right?
No,
Or Iowa
State was already there.
Iowa State was from.
They must have had another
Big
leave
8.
actually, because they had 12, and then they went to 10. 3 left.
Well, that math doesn't work.
No. 4 left. 2 were added.
This is like
TCU, West Virginia.
Who was the 4th that left?
Oh, goodness gracious! We should have done this in the show prep.
Yeah, well, I mean,
are y'all for it or
through.
against it? Because I'm anti. I don't want them. Of course you want to come here, OU. Of course you want to come here, Texas. Sorry, get lost. We're playing Vanderbilt. But it's just like they want the money. They see where the money is. They see where the best football is. They see A&M getting these recruits. They want it. If they're going to come, pull the strings from the whole thing.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I can give a shit about what A&M thinks.
Yeah,
and what A&M wants.
Sure, and by the way,
fuck yourself, Ross Bjork,
Missouri,
Bjork, with your retard ass name.
Oh,
Jesus!
Oh, we can't say
retard.
that. We can't say that. We can't say that.
We can't go full retard.
That's 3 times in a podcast. We can't say that.
All right, my bad.
We're explicit.
And get to Missouri too.
Missouri. Put the E on there. Fuck it.
Put Missouri on blast while we're at it.
Oh well,
sure.
He wants to get rid of Vanderbilt and Missouri
we
add them.
I was talked out of that because I remembered that you can just throw Missouri to the west and Vanderbilt to the east. I was throwing them both out because they were both in the east, and I wanted to throw Alabama to the east and Auburn. Well, how do you feel about Auburn just getting thrown to the east like a?
Yeah, you're an Auburn guy. What do you think about Auburn being gone
fuck y'all?
go
to the east.
Auburn, Alabama moved to the east.
If we move to the east, the only thing that I want with the SEC schedule as an Auburn fan, I want to play LSU, I want to play Georgia, and I want to play Alabama. Other than that, that's fine. I want those 3 teams on my schedule.
You're not going to get to play LSU
because they're going to take out cross divisions. They'd have.
Well, they shouldn't have. If they're going to add to Oklahoma and Texas, they should have no divisions.
Well, you're going to have
a round robin where you have
pod system. You're thinking pod system.
Well, I'm thinking just Auburn plays Georgia, Auburn plays LSU, Auburn plays Alabama.
So that's a pod system.
Yeah, pod system.
There's a lot of
but if you had a pod system, you can't have a 4-team pod that includes Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, LSU.
I want to play those teams because I don't like them. Georgia, I would rather not play Georgia. I want to play LSU and I want to play Alabama.
Oh, well,
you don't want to play Georgia? I thought that was like y'all's second biggest rival.
They've been beating the hell out of us a lot recently. So,
now you don't want to play him.
Well,
if I had to take
better
one
at football, dude,
we're trying.
I thought this was like the Boise State way. I thought this was going to happen.
That's true. This was the Boise State way.
This took a turn. I mean, are we just shitting on Auburn now?
Yeah. It was,
all right. Go ahead. I'm ready. Put the pads on. We'll be here October 2nd. Strap up.
Week 2 of what's your Ryan Harsin hate?
Brian Harsin hate. Yeah.
Brian Harsin hate. Jesus.
You call him Ryan Harsin.
Ryan.
Jeez.
He's like Ryan after he got fired.
Fired guy.
Yeah, fired guy.
I mean, again, bring on the jokes, strap the pads up. We're ready, and we're going to be ready next year, and we're going to be ready the year after that. And that's all I got to say.
He ain't going to be ready on the offensive line. But anyway.
Probably not.
So if you add Texas and Oklahoma, like what does that do? Like, so, and then you move Auburn and Alabama to the east.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that's how it works, and then you have just a 16-team conference.
Yeah.
So now every year LSU's schedule would be without.
I mean, I would think you would have to rotate your opponent, right?
What do you mean?
On
like
the
your cross division?
side? Yeah.
So you would have to get rid of the cross division staple, right?
Yeah, y'all want to be in the you throw Auburn and Alabama out. Who are you playing? A&M and
We're playing Oklahoma and Texas.
Great. Not
and
like you didn't beat the hell out of them.
Oklahoma and Texas, like those are two.
Ole Miss is a respectable program.
Yeah.
Oh my God, are you guys just trying to find a way to walk yourselves in the playoffs?
Exactly correct.
You're going to be in the East now, the easiest division.
No, East
We're
becomes the
playing-
harder division. Actually, if you
What
look
are you
at
talking
it,
about?
you got
Yeah.
Bama, Auburn.
Yeah, who do
Georgia,
you want to
Florida,
play? If
and then we
LSU,
get to-
if Auburn,
we
and
did get
Alabama,
to coast to the SEC championship.
who
every
are
year.
y'all's biggest rivals? Who do y'all want to play every year?
Every year,
I don't give a shit.
Florida.
I want to play a bunch of shitty
we don't.
teams.
That's the difference with LSU is that we don't have
Sad.
I'm down for LSU to move
Scared.
to the
we don't have
American.
set rivals like everybody else does.
Right.
And that's the difference.
You don't
It's
think
like,
Auburn's a set one?
I'm not really like
Well, here's the
Auburn,
thing.
Florida, Alabama are all on equal playing fields. Texas A&M, I can probably add that one in there too. Of like teams that we play every year, but like, is it a rivalry?
I
It's
don't know
not.
about that.
It's not a rivalry to them.
Sure.
Because
LSU?
they have their own
Florida.
rivalries.
Florida's the only one. But
Florida's
Florida's biggest
got-
rival is Georgia.
Or Florida State.
There's no
of
one.
them, when
There's
they were
no
really
one
good.
in the SEC who sees us as their
As their
biggest
rival.
rival,
Agree.
like as their number one.
Which is
rival.
actually a benefit
Arkansas.
to us.
Arkansas has Missouri, though.
Arkansas has Missouri.
And that's
Yeah.
become a pretty big rivalry. Actually,
That's actually it was always been a rivalry.
right. Well, yeah,
Um,
it's kind of come back. Is what I meant to say.
Jude, what do you think about this, Jude? We're bringing you back in.
Yeah, LSU doesn't have consistent rivals any time really. It for the last 20 years it's been Florida. Before that, it was kind of A&M in those 90s and 80s years, even though they weren't in the conference. Before that, it was Archie's Ole Miss's team, and for that, Tulane. So I think it's hard to say who would LSU's permanent rivalry be if you were to round robin or like system. And I think that would be a real challenge, especially if you had two more teams. You might have to cut some of the fat.
All right, we appreciate you, Jude. Yeah. So what Jude was saying was like we don't really have a
Right. So
set
basically,
rivalry.
like he just listened to us and
basically
then
the
said
same
exactly
thing
what
that
I
we were
just said.
saying. Yeah.
Sure.
So
It's a good
we
job,
appreciate
Jude, on that analysis.
chiming in on that one.
That's nice.
So all right, media days. All right, let's talk about LSU media days. Well, actually, before we do that, big shout out to River City's Total Maintenance.
Okay. Yeah.
Lucas Ragusa at River City's Total Maintenance. They are doing fantastic work over in the North Shore and NOLA. So we appreciate those guys over at River City's Total Maintenance. Give them a call. That's not just AC. Obviously, AC is where everybody's heads are at right now with the 90-degree weather every day. But also electrical, plumbing, they can do all this kind of issue with you as well. So give River City's Total Maintenance give them a call. They've been a proud sponsor of One Team One Podcast. We appreciate them. So all right, we were talking about media days. So let's talk about LSU media days and Ed Ogeron.
Yeah.
What did you feel about? And because I'm gonna tell you a little bit of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But like, what did you take away from media days?
Go Tigers.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, I didn't hear anything that I wasn't already thinking, from Coach O.
Tigers.
And granted, I actually didn't get to watch the full thing because, of course, right when he starts his meeting, I have to go into a meeting.
An
at work,
actual
but-
meeting.
Go
Yeah,
Tigers.
so I didn't get to watch it, but from what I did hear, it was just he went through the roster. Every year he has to go through the roster. He goes through the full thing.
Did you hear Mike Leach today? By the way,
No,
Go Tigers.
he just started. He came up and he said, "Hey, I'm not big on statements, so I know you guys are already going to ask the questions anyway. So let's just get started. Go ahead and ask questions." That's exactly how it went.
I love that. That's how. Also, that's how I would expect it to go.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
that's a Mike Leach.
That's a
press
Mike Leach
conference.
deal, right?
And that's why we added him to the SEC. That's why we did it. We went and got him. Let's have some fun
I
in July.
thought y'all added him to put up 60 in the opening weekend. Bro, if it's not 600 yards,
Somebody
it's
turn
7
Sam
touchdowns.
down.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
Turn Sam down.
Jesus.
All right, so here's
Acting like we forgot. We didn't forget.
We didn't
know,
forget
we
about
know. God damn it.
623. It's embedded in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
got
Bo Pelini, though.
it.
What are
Yes.
we doing? No, we're not bringing up Bo Pelini. We're not doing
No,
it.
Bo Pelini's gone. It's Durante Jones action now. It's Bo Pelini. Okay.
Son of a bitch.
All right. So anyway, where was I at?
We
Ed
were talking about
Ogeron.
the press conference. Right?
I got a serious vibe from 2019
Okay.
of it. Then it was Burrow, and I forget who the other player was that they brought that year. But it
I'll
was
think of it.
it was
at some
very
point, and then I'm just gonna yell it.
it was very much wait, y'all just wait and see what we're about to do. And I got that kind of vibe out of Ed Ogeron for sure.
Lloyd Cushenberry.
Cushenberry?
Mhm.
Okay. I don't know if he gave that answer, but Joe Burrow obviously did.
Joe Burrow's press conference at SEC Media Days was electric.
That was the one where he was saying
I watched that
we're going
thing
to
like
score
4 times.
40, 50, 60 points a
Right.
game.
He also said that. No, he said that at the Manning camp.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And y'all just don't know yet.
Yeah.
Is the way he was putting it.
Yeah, y'all aren't used to LSU scoring points like this. That's what he said. I
The
remember.
way Ed Ogeron came across was, yeah, it's y'all are discounting us, and that's great. And like
Sure.
I got a vibe from him that was very confident and like, okay, things are back to normal. Last year, I guess I probably got. I mean, we all got sold a bill of goods last year, but
Sure.
um,
That's why when I watch a Coach O press conference right now, I'm just like,
I didn't get sold shit. I wasn't buying. Cheap asses.
Get that fuck out of
turn your
here.
mic off.
God damn it.
What were you saying though?
Yeah, I mean, just everything I hear from Coach O right now is just it. It could all be a smokescreen. I don't know, because I mean, he sold us so hard on Bo Pelini last year, and we bought it so hard
Right.
that I just don't.
Well, we wanted Bo Pelini too,
Right.
but we were just thinking that he was going to bring something to the table that he was
Right.
never going to.
And he bullshitted all last season.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm just like, I do think that we're going to be a lot better this year and all that, but and I think that we are being discounted, but whatever Coach O says right now, until it's proven, I just don't really care.
Yeah, and I think about the defensive side of the ball too. Like those guys are like, I mean, that was the worst defense we've ever put on the field in the history of LSU football last year. Like there's got to be some kind of okay, this is not who we are. And I heard that a little bit out of Derek Stingley. Where I just felt like, okay, he's not going to put up with that again this year. Not that he's like this huge leader or anything like that, but like
I did see all of his press conference actually.
Okay.
The one thing that stood out to me with him was that he was talking about like his leadership role. Usually I don't care when guys talk about their leadership role.
Did he talk about
what he
Tyrann
said-
Mathieu?
Yes.
Yeah, he brought that up,
I thought
right?
that was super interesting how he talked about how he was saying when he speaks, people listen to him.
Yeah.
And like he was like, I didn't know I had that power. And I
Yeah,
was like,
Matthew
that's
helped
really
him
cool.
with that. Like, look,
Right.
you're a soft-spoken guy. This is what that means.
Just make sure that when you speak, it's like
It's
you
a very-
realize it's important.
yeah,
what you say.
you're an influencer. So, yeah, I think Matthew's the perfect example of that. Like the guy that everybody's going to pay attention to.
Right. And I mean, I think if Derek Stingley takes that kind of role and as a leader on the secondary,
Everybody's
I think that's gonna be huge.
I do see where y'all were coming from. I mean, Bo Pelini last year coming to LSU, Bo Pelini's track record, there's nothing in there that indicates that last year at LSU was going to be a bust. I mean, coming off that 2019 season, I think the players might be a little unmotivated. Like, they might have thought that they were the shit. But coming off of, like you said, Bo Pelini was a good defensive coordinator. But until he got to LSU. And what you were saying about Stingley and him taking control of the defense, like you said, Matt, the worst defense in LSU history. Stingley's an LSU guy. Stingley's a Louisiana guy. He knows. He is LSU secondary right now.
Yeah,
and I think he will take that step up because he's the best player in the country.
Man, I was on an Ole Miss podcast today, and we were talking about this exact same thing about the differences between, and we've talked about this in length, about the differences between Dave Aranda to Bo Pelini, and that the communication skills that Dave Aranda had with players was like light years different than what Bo Pelini was bringing to the table. And now we're going to a guy like Durante Jones, who we've gone out with and we've had drinks with.
Yeah.
And like, dude, this guy is like the
That dude-
coolest MFer
Yeah.
ever. And like,
That dude could get along with anybody.
yeah, like everybody's going to listen to this guy.
Right.
He's got NFL experience,
Coach
obviously.
O gave a really strong statement on him. He said he's the best one of the best defensive back coaches in the world.
Wow.
That's what he said. I was like, when he said that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, so like,
That's
I mean,
huge.
people have questions about our secondary issues. I think those are fixed. Like, to me, the issues that we were seeing on the secondary were like communication, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it was just all
They're just players
communication.
being disinterested.
I agree with that.
The-
They were soft. They didn't want to be there. They didn't
Right.
care.
disinterested.
They didn't give a fuck.
They weren't listening.
And I'm not shooting the players down for that at all.
No,
Right. I blame the coaches
no.
for
The
them not caring.
coaches
because they
have
didn't
to put that.
they didn't do a good job of getting them engaged.
And I was trying to tell him on this show today, like I don't know what, I can't pinpoint exactly the issue, but it started well before the season started, and you just saw it happen against Mississippi State.
Yeah. It's something else. Going back to the Coach O press conference, I found it to be a little too excusey for me, and like not taking enough blame for shit, and like I don't know. He was just saying like, well, we had the COVID opt-outs and we had all that, and I would have liked them to just not bring that up at all. I would have liked them to just say, yeah, I didn't make the right hires. We didn't do a good job of communicating with our players, and then just leave it at that. Like that's why we weren't good in 2020.
Jude
did have excuses, but I would like for you to not bring them up.
Jude is coming in hot here. He's got something to say. Tighten up your tie, Jude.
I'm not going to do it in the voice, fella. There's no such thing as a bad student. It's only bad teacher. So that's just to build off of that. In terms of what I took away from the media days, an awful lot other than based off what Derek Stingley had to say, contrast with Deculus. What Deculus talked about the standard of performance, Stingley liked to talk about, oh, I got something to prove and this defense to prove. And so if there's anything that Durante Jones has done, which is build off, if you know, he has a degree in psychology. He's not in sports admin. So
that's a great point about the psychology line.
Durante Jones has raised the expectations in the defensive backs.
That's true.
And I think that's actually a really good point by Jude. I actually wish we wouldn't have cut him off because I actually think he was about to have a good.
Who cut him off?
We did.
Okay.
As
Sam.
a group.
Okay.
We collectively cut him off. There he is.
All right, now you finish your thought. Though you are on something.
Yeah, actually,
psychology.
he was on a roll.
Jay Miranda.
Please
I was
continue.
wrapping it up.
I know you are.
Yeah, because we know Bo Pelini.
All right, so I think that the point was the psychology of Durant. I mean, I agree with that. Durante Jones is going to come at those players in a different way than Bo Pelini will, obviously. So I think that's,
it's like you go from Dave Aranda to Bo Pelini, and that's a harsh change of pace.
It really is.
And now you go
Pelini's
from
what,
Pelini,
60, 65? I mean, he's been doing this for
Right.
years.
He's
and
an
like
old guy.
when he started, I mean, I hate to be like this, but they didn't have cell phones. You know?
Yeah.
Like, they
Yeah.
didn't.
Well, they weren't. No, I'm not going to go there, but like they were.
They just didn't have the access that
They
have
felt
now.
the players had more responsibility given to them back then, I think, and now players don't feel that same responsibility, and all that responsibility is kind of on the coaches. And that's just the difference between now and back in 2007 when Bo Pelini was coaching defense for LSU.
I think there was a lot more hard-nosed mentality back then that isn't today. And very much, it's more of a professional mindset. It's kind of like, why didn't Nick Saban excel in the NFL?
Right. That's a great point, Matt.
I think that these players have now adjusted in college to where they feel more, it's more of a professional mindset. And I don't think that a guy like Bo Pelini will, and I'm surprised I didn't see this closer than what we saw it. Like, we were all on board with the Bo Pelini hire because we just thought he would be an aggressive coach
we were
coming
talking
in.
to
We
guys-
just assumed that he would be able to connect with the guys.
Right, and because we were thinking about how in 2019 the thing our defense was missing was aggression,
Yeah.
and we were thinking about how our conversations with Derry Beckwith said that players are really going to love Bo Pelini.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really great guy. I love Bo Pelini, all that kind of shit. So we were thinking, okay, he's going to really get along with the players, and he's going to add something to this defense that they were really missing.
And then the
That
second
sounds-
time we had
That sounds like a fucking match made in heaven.
The second time we had Derry Beckwith on is the time that he talked about how, the differences between Dave Aranda and Bo Pelini
Right.
are night and day.
Right.
So I think that's what the disconnect where it happened. And
And it's not just a disconnect. It's also just like a lack of willingness from Bo Pelini to have made connections with the players.
for sure. Absolutely. I think it was that. And it was also maybe some accountability part from Ed Ogeron, making sure that was happening.
Right.
I think there was a lot of disconnect
Checked
from
out.
Ed.
That's something you bring up all
I
the time.
talk
Coach
about it
O
all the
was
time.
checked out last year.
Coach O, after the national championship game, checked out for, I would say, about a 6-month period.
I think he checked back in after the Auburn game because he started seeing his
his
job status was getting a little tight.
earlier than me. I mean, a little later than me. I'm saying that he checked out until the Missouri loss. I'm thinking that's
Well,
when
I
he
mean,
tried to get it back, and it took that long to get it back,
Mhm.
and it didn't get back until the Florida game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, but here's why I disagree is because I think Arkansas game, I thought he was pretty locked in.
Maybe
Texas
that.
A&M game, because Arkansas game was when our defense
Maybe
started
that's what it
actually
was. The
playing
Arkansas,
decent.
yeah, right.
Right, and that was right after the Auburn game. That was during that
Sure, right, yeah,
3-week
right.
period where we just didn't play a single game.
I got you that.
And then Alabama game, it was just like we were too far behind at that point to
Mhm.
possibly give a good game in that one. And then Florida game, it finally all came together. You put the right quarterback in against Florida.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, don't act like Florida didn't hang 60 or like 58. Like, how many they put up?
34,
34? Well,
We won 37-34.
big fucking deal, bro.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm wrong.
Yeah, how about you just shut
I'm,
up?
They-
going, I'm
weren't-
going back to Mississippi State.
All right,
Sorry.
how about you
Sorry.
just
That's
shut
all-
up?
Whoa. If
Like, how
if
about
I'm
you just
taking
shut up?
if I'm taking Florida's role here, I would say, okay, well, we didn't play Kyle Pitts, so that was a problem.
Yeah. But I mean, if you want to give those excuses, we can say we didn't have Stingley that game. We didn't have Emery or TDP that game.
I mean, that's
or
on-
Terrace
Or
Marshall.
Terrace Marshall or Eric Gilbert.
I think
That's
that's on
right.
Dan
So-
Mullen and Pitts at that point. But yeah, the LSU
I agree.
defense showed a pulse for sure. They like you're always saying, they started.
They started that game with a goal line stand.
Yeah, they wanted
And
to
they
be
set
there.
the- they set-
wanted to be there.
Exactly.
They wanted to punch somebody in the mouth. They
Exactly.
wanted to win. They're trying to be LSU.
Eli Ricks had a pick
We had a
six that
pick
game.
six.
Yeah.
Jay Ward had this crazy ass interception.
That was nuts.
So there was a lot of defensive.
It was a
plays.
hustle play, is what it was.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a wild play, but it was like, he was focused the entire play, and that wasn't something we saw all year.
and Florida was high powered last year with Tony
Yeah,
and
Trask.
Trask.
I mean,
for
Trask
sure.
was like, he was like that win
He was
away from
on-
going to New York.
He was
and
on
at least being a
pace.
candidate.
Yeah, he was on pace with Mac Jones for a long, long time.
Yeah, for a very long time. And people were comparing him to Joe Burrow. I mean, stupidly, but they were comparing him to Joe Burrow at the beginning of the year. Like, he was
Right.
having a really good season.
All right, Jude is back in here in the chat. So, Jude, what do you have to say about this?
In terms of like that Florida game, I don't know. That was just a bunch of young guys, and they saw an opportunity to really put themselves on national television. And I don't really know if that had anything to do with on the defense because Stingley wasn't there. And if you remember, I mean, one of those goal line stands came on a busted coverage from, I think, what's the name, Tony. So I'm not sure
Cut him
how
off now.
much. There's still a lot of questions on the defense. But yeah,
All right, I cut him off probably too late there.
Yeah, I would say
but,
so. Well, he just started saying the same things.
same thing we were saying.
Right.
I mean, Add something new to the conversation.
He's talking
Right.
about
You're going to come in.
a doctor last time, so that was I thought maybe he's going to get back to the doctor route.
Oh, like go to yeah.
Yeah, he brought in psychology last time.
He did talk
Yeah.
about his psychology.
Somebody had a PhD.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Right.
Jude starts talking about psychology. Like that gets me in the mood.
Yeah, but you need to listen
Yeah.
because you know Jude's been to a psychologist.
Yikes.
There's nothing wrong with that. If anybody
No,
has,
there's
honestly,
nothing wrong with that. Mental health is a real deal.
It's truth.
All right, so
Shout out to mental health.
yeah,
the
take a shot
media
for them.
days. I mean, obviously didn't bring a quarterback. I mean, so
well, I mean, there weren't a lot of quarterbacks that are even being brought this
Bo Nix
entire
was there.
time.
I'm saying Bo Nix was there.
Well,
Whatever.
that's tomorrow, right?
Well, yeah.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, but Auburn's tomorrow with
Dude.
Eli Drinkwitz and
Dude,
freaking
talk about the
fucking-
worst lineup. We looked at this yesterday.
Well, I mean,
Thursday-
all that tomorrow is going to be about is OU Texas. So like fucking forget about Auburn. Forget
So
about
who
Missouri.
are the three?
the Thursday lineup. Goodness, it's Missouri.
It's Drinkwitz.
and is it Mark
Strigwitz,
Stoops?
Harson, and Stoops. No, Stoops was today.
Stoops was today. It was another first timer.
It's somebody else so
Is Heupel?
irrelevant.
No, that was
he
today.
did it.
Well, that was yesterday.
Was it?
It's
Hey,
another
who's
first
the-
timer.
Who's the other one? It's Lee, Heupel, Harson.
Lee?
and- no, Lee was on LSU's day.
Oh yeah,
Who's
yeah,
the-
right.
Who's the other one?
Is it Arkansas? I don't.
Sam Pittman. Yeah.
Is it
Is
Sam
it Pittman?
So
It's
it's
Pittman.
tomorrow it's Drinkwitz,
First.
Pittman, and Brian Harson is last.
Well, 1 o'clock.
So I told him, I said, nobody's going to be there.
That's
when-
fine.
Everybody's going to leave when Brian Harson's going to have one reporter in the room.
Y'all might not notice.
Cecil hurt.
Y'all might not notice this, but Auburn is so much better when they're not ranked. Like if we
Oh.
start a season unranked, like we will eventually work our way up.
Well, I
but-
don't know how that feels for us because we're always ranked.
exactly.
But
Don't rank us. Don't talk about us. I don't want anybody to be there. Auburn
When's the
this
last
season
time
be
LSU started a season unranked? Do we know?
probably this season. Honestly,
No, we're gonna
No,
start
we're
season
ranked.
like at least 20 at minimum.
I
Probably
think
higher
I
than
think
that.
Auburn's
thi-
unranked.
I think this year sets up perfectly for LSU. So
You know what I could see this season being like is like obviously switch the offense and the defense, but it's like 2010.
oh god, they're gonna say 2019. I was gonna punch myself.
Yeah, no, it's like exactly like 2019.
yeah, right.
But
Minus Joe
20
Burrow.
Like 2010, and like you're going into it with like some weird expectations. I don't know what the hell's going on.
So
Last year was weird.
I see it as
2 years off of a championship. Like last year we were comparing that team to 2008. And now
last year's, yeah.
yeah,
Was way worse than 2008.
was it?
Yep.
Do you think so?
I do.
I don't.
I
I actually disagree with that.
mean our
I
offense,
think it was like exactly the same as 2008 actually.
our offense, the turnovers that we created on offense led to 2008. So it wasn't like we weren't great on defense, but we weren't bad on defense either.
No, we
our
were pretty
offense
bad
was-
some games though.
Our
like
offense
Florida
was
dropped
terrible.
Florida dropped like 52 points on us.
Well,
So did Georgia.
that was the national championship. Yeah, but,
But so did
Georgia,
Georgia.
Georgia had 2 pick sixes against us.
Yeah,
Two pick
so
sixes.
okay, so they still scored 38 points.
That was
against us.
Jarrett Lee as a freshman throwing pick sixes like crazy.
Okay, but still, I'm not talking about like just the defense in 2008 was as bad. But I'm talking about the team as a whole. The offense and the defense combined was as bad as the offensive and defense combined in 2020.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I think they actually would have come out to similar records. I think that 2020 would have been a 7-5 team.
2008, at the end of the year, we ended up playing Georgia Tech, right? In the bowl
Yeah, and we
game.
beat the fuck out of them.
We
And
brought
that same fucking thing would have happened this year if we would have gone to the Outback Bowl, which is what we would have gone to against Indiana. We would have beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And
that
you actually it's so similar because you start the year with Andrew Hatch,
Mhm.
and in
you
2020
ended
you
with
started
Jordan
with,
Jefferson.
and then you go with Jarrett Lee for a little while, and then you end with Jordan Jefferson, and then you get some momentum going, and you win a bowl game. That's exactly what would have happened
I
in
mean,
2020.
that entire year was just because of Ryan Perlew. I
Yeah.
mean, Ryan Perrilloux
Jesus
was going to be
Christ.
the starting
Go
quarterback.
Cox.
We had a whole episode about that like a year ago. If y'all want to go back and
Yeah,
find
the
that.
Ryan Perrilloux episode.
I was
Yeah.
actually in high school in Jacksonville, Alabama, when Perrilloux transferred from LSU to Jacksonville State.
I remember when he almost beat Ole Miss.
Oh my God, he did beat Ole Miss. They did beat Ole
Oh,
Miss.
they did. They won
beat
that
him.
game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They beat Ole
Jacksonville
Miss.
State beat him.
I mean, he was the best athlete on that field every single time I went.
I mean, he was backup quarterback for the Giants for like 5 years. He was, I mean,
Right. I
super
remember
talented
that.
guy.
Yeah, he was like, he always did well in the preseason.
yeah. What were we talking about before we got onto this?
Jesus
you
Christ, I
were
really don't know.
okay. So we were at
We're talking about 2021 expectations.
SEC
Oh.
media days. You were saying you don't trust what Edo was saying.
Uh-huh.
The
That
defense
was-
is going to change their tone.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, or I was talking about how Auburn's with Sam Pittman and
Right.
freaking-
Yeah, and how tomorrow SEC media day is going to not be about the
Well,
actual press conferences
and
at all.
let me finish this off, and I'll say, all right, the vibe that I was getting was that LSU is in a perfect spot to make noise because they're not the big time favorite. They're under the radar. There's a lot of people that aren't there. I mean, we were like the fourth team picked in the West to win out of SEC writers. Like, get out of here. Like,
I mean, you got to be in the top 3.
at least in the top 3. Like J Boy, he has his second. I mean, so there's a lot of people that are understanding this, and there's a lot of people that are still have us way under the radar.
Well, I think
we thrive under the radar.
I think what's interesting about the schedule that we have too is that all the teams we have at home, I think, are about to have a down year. No offense, Auburn fans, but I think
that's where you start. That's where you come in with the no offense.
no offense, Auburn fans, but
Shit. It's a lot worse
I
stuff than
think
that.
I think we're catching y'all on a good year. It's a good year to play y'all.
Oh, it's
I
a
would
tough
say.
game. Yeah, it's a tough.
Yeah,
It's a
and
hard
like
game.
we got y'all at
For
home.
us.
I think that's a win for us. I really just do. Florida, I think, is going to have a down year. Florida had a player that said he talked about the LSU game, and he said we're winning that game.
Love
I don't
it.
know who it was.
Clip it.
But it was like, yeah,
Clip
no,
it.
it
Jude,
was like
find
I don't
it.
agree
Clip
with you.
it. Text
But
it to
I
us.
saw someone
We're
who said
posting
like,
it.
"Oh, why would you say that? You're such an idiot. Why would you say something like that?" I hope guys say shit like that at the media days. That makes it media day fun.
It does make it fun.
And like this is an entertainment business. Sports are.
well,
it's
and
like,
it'll
like,
be-
let's add shit to
There's
the.
tons of things to
the
make
hype.
it like poster board material. So there's plenty of things like that.
Right, well,
Jude, what do you
whatever.
have to say about
bulletin
that?
board.
Bulletin board, poster
Does
board,
anyone-
bulletin board.
Anyone remember when Kellen Mond went to media days? He
Yes, I
said,
do.
"Oh, we're our guys. We stand on get
Yeah, we were
tired.
standing tall.
I
Yeah, we
agree
were-
back on that one.
Yeah.
Bill,
No, I mean I love
beef.
that he said
Don't wait for it to defrost.
that. Yeah, sure.
Don't wait for the beef to defrost.
I love that.
I
quote.
love it.
That's it.
Jude,
That's
we're
a
gonna put that
t-shirt,
on a
man.
t-shirt for sure.
Yeah.
Jude Sansing.
Well, LSU definitely has something to prove, and like what you said with Coach O coming in there, having a little bit of chip on his shoulder, being pissed off. I mean, that you want people to look down on LSU. You know what I mean? Like when you're walking in there, because
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, it's still LSU. You know, and like I'm not an LSU fan, but I respect LSU for what they are. And last
Thank you for your
year,
respect.
and last year, you guys weren't that at times.
Fuck you.
You weren't. You went 5-5 barely.
Yeah, and like we didn't respect ourselves.
You were hungover. You were hungover.
Oh, it was bad. It was
Yeah.
really bad, Sam. You didn't know me back then, but it was really bad.
Sam, it was a bad hangover. Like it was
was
one of those ones where
Y'all-
it's like
y'all
I
s-
might not live past today.
The Sunday post shows were not great.
Honestly, like though,
Those
if I
were
go,
a lot of fun.
if you go back and watch them, like
They're
it would
hilarious.
probably be really fun to go back. And
I can still buy like 2019 LSU national championship beer in the gas station. Like, what the fuck? I'm from Birmingham. We have to change those out once like the new it gets to July. You got to get rid of all the 2020 Alabama stuff. First of all, it doesn't last that long. Second of all, you're gonna have to replace it in a year.
Yeah.
So
So actually,
and I hate 'em.
I did
So,
go
fuck
back
them.
and watched a couple of the Sunday shows, and I watched.
The Auburn one is the best.
All I
think.
did was I watched the South Carolina one, and we were like, man, I'm just feeling really good about this team right now. And then I watched Auburn.
The
and we were-
Auburn one was
and we were
the
like,
worst.
We were like, I don't know. I think we should fire Coach O. Like, I think it's time.
Can I say, my girlfriend, I'm obviously an Auburn fan. My girlfriend's an LSU fan.
Nice.
She had ran her mouth so much leading up to this game. And I just didn't talk anything because I don't want to stir the pot, right? And at the second, let's see. I mean, first quarter, fine. Y'all are terrible. Second quarter rolls around. By the end of the second quarter, she's not talking to me.
No,
and I haven't done anything. I didn't do anything. I mean,
right. Yeah,
you
no,
beat yourselves in that one, which
that
I
was-
don't think will happen in this year. You're going to be a better coach team, and I don't think the games like Auburn where you shoot yourself in the foot, I think those are out the window.
That was the one we tried doing a halftime show for that game. And we might try to
I
do
wish I would
that.
have listened.
We might try
I
to
should've
do it
called
again.
it.
We might try to do it again.
It's like
we-
a drunk halftime show.
It was like a
oh, yeah,
it's
like we just went
bullshit.
like Instagram live.
Yeah, right.
Just like a quick 10-minute. And yeah, we FaceTimed each other or whatever, Instagram lived, and it was just we're just like, I don't know how we win this game. I think we're fucked. I don't know.
I don't think this is happening. It was the TJ Finley just did not look ready for that game.
Not at
And
all.
the offensive game, I
The
think I was
offensive
more
line was
I was
so bad.
more upset about the offensive game plan more than anything. Like these little dump
Yeah.
routes, these little like quick slants.
No stretch in the field. That's something we talked
you're
about
just
that game.
you're just setting him up for failure because it's the worst thing that he's good. He's not good at like short immediate throws. Like
Right.
he's good at long throws or he's good at things in space and things like that. But I don't know. It was
We're turning the page. We're turning the page, boys. New
Yes.
year, SEC
yeah,
media
you know
days.
something I thought about asking
And
you this week.
TJ
going
Finley's
into
at
this-
Auburn was even better.
Yeah,
he's our
something I
best
thought
player
about
in that
asking you going into this show was if you wanted to do like just bury the hatchet on 2020 talk.
Sure, we can do that.
Do you want to just do
Should
that?
you, I mean, should you do something like should
Maybe-
you memorialize
I think we
something?
need. I
Maybe
think we
we-
need.
maybe we do it
yeah,
next
I
week.
think we need to do something like bigger than just on the show.
like
should
next
we-
week we just do it. It's like the end of July, and then in August, no more 2020 talk.
Should
or
we
we
bury
print
G-
out. We print out a whole bunch of pictures of like
Sure.
2020 instances.
Sure, and then we just burn them.
We actually burn them in the fire pit in the backyard.
Can
That sounds great.
we just bury Jude?
We could bury Jude.
I'm down
Yeah.
to bury Jude. I'm down to light Jude on fire.
Jude is he's gonna be torched.
Yeah.
All right,
Burn
so
Tweet us,
Burn at
tweet
the
us,
stake,
Instagram
Jude
us.
Sanson.
What should the sacrifice be?
yeah,
What
tell
should the
us what
2020
we should
sacrifice
do.
be?
Yeah, tweet
Yeah,
us. You see it on the screen. One Team One Pod at One Team One Pod on
with
Twitter and
hashtag
Instagram.
burn at the stake.
Burn at the stake. Yeah, tell us what we should do for the 2020 memories.
Paninis. Should we just go smash a bunch of paninis?
Paninis.
Hey, I had a panini today. No free ads, but at La Divina next to Trader Joe's.
Really? I haven't been
Fire,
there. I
fire
haven't-
sandwich.
I haven't been there in a while.
You know where that would be really good at? Fred's. If you took it and ate it
Fred's.
at Fred's, it'd be a delicious
Yeah,
panini.
I mean
Speaking of-
everything tastes better with a beer.
Speaking of Fred's, well, everything tastes better with a screwdriver. So Fred's will supply. They'll have the screwdrivers and the vodka ready for you. Also, big shout out to Relief Pools. I talked to Ben Landry today at Relief Pools. Man, they are expanding left and right. So doing a ton of business right now. He was about to wrap up 3 pools, I think, within this. Man, they're super, super busy, but call him, get on the schedule. If you get on the schedule now, you can probably get in there for the fall and winter. So reach out to Relief Pools. He'll hook you up. Also, Bocock Brothers Cigars. I've had a couple of those today. I'm probably not supposed to have too many of those. Probably not supposed to have too many of those.
That's on me.
Yeah, during the week, but I've had 2 of those today. They're their official cigar of One Team One Podcast, and we appreciate those guys. Also, Bogies in Baton Rouge, we really appreciate Bogies. He was giving me, I think I got a contact for an athlete that we're going to have on the podcast here soon from Bogies. So we appreciate those guys. Always been supportive of us. So what we're going to do is we're going to move into the Moxie of the Week award. And this one is this one's a little different this week. And I don't know if you know what it is, but
Big time Moxie guy.
all right, Jack's joining us again. Moxie of the Week award is going to go to our guy, BDJ.
Hey.
Joe Burrow, Moxie of the Week award. All of a sudden, Libby Dunn's off in California. She is running about town, doing her Instagram influencing.
No doubt seeking out NIL deals.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. And
As she should be.
as she should be. Yeah, she's probably a millionaire already.
That's them too.
Yes. And so then Joe Burrow runs into her apparently at a restaurant.
Big time Moxie guy.
Yep.
What's Joe
And
Burrow doing in California, by the way?
I don't know. Who knows?
I'm sure he's quarterback camp.
Going to meet Livy Dunn, maybe.
Or yeah, they may have the cell phone numbers. So this is a combined Moxie and Foxie of the week.
Let's
so
Foxy lady.
exactly. So we have Joe Burrow and Livy Dunn as the Moxie and the Foxie of the week. It's the LSU royalty, correct? I think Jude is trying to come in on this, right? Is he trying to say something right now?
I don't know if he is or not, but
All right.
I think
Jude, what do you
okay.
have to say about this? Jude's been waiting to talk about
Be honest, because this is kind of old news. Well, I don't know why you're talking about it. You're 40, but
yeah, we shouldn't be talking about
yeah,
this.
I would have given it to Giannis. Just he got the blend now, and in terms of Moxie, it's Anna De Armas week for old Jude. All right, y'all can kick me off now.
Okay, thank you.
No, leave him on. Leave him on. No, he
Really?
doesn't tell us.
No,
when we
you
can
don't
leave
tell
him.
us.
Yeah,
You don't tell us
You're-
when to take you off.
you're live,
Hey,
dude.
that was clever to get ahead of it.
Yeah,
it
that's
was.
right, yeah.
I knew it was gonna happen. No, we're in control of it, Jude. Dang it.
Now you can go off. Yeah, you
Idiot.
got him,
Idiot.
idiot. Yeah. So I don't even know who the girl he's talking about. That's
Okay,
all
no,
I'm
back
saying.
to Joe Burrow
Isn't that an actress?
and
Yeah.
this person, Livy
Well-
Dunn.
Livy Dunn.
Livy Dunn.
Joe Burrow has way more moxie than Giannis does.
Big time Moxie guy.
I love Giannis. I think
Giannis
Giannis is the
Giannis
face of the
is a nice
NBA.
dude.
He's my favorite NBA player right now, and
Giannis is
I
the
don't
face of the
watch
NBA.
the
Is that what you
NBA.
said?
Yeah, he should be.
Emmanuel Acho today had this big rant on why he's not the face of the NBA.
Is it
Right.
because he's
It
Greek?
was
Does
really-
he need a translator?
That was part
What?
of it. And
This
it was-
is like exactly what Stephen A.
didn't-
said.
He didn't say he's Greek. He didn't say that specifically.
He's just
but
not
he was-
relatable.
He went
to,
in a very roundabout way of saying that and saying like we don't know anything about him, like he's not relatable. type
Basically,
thing.
like the
Like-
same thing Stephen A. said about Otani.
pretty much.
Jeez.
I don't want to do it.
Like, why is that such a
Is-
popular thing to say right now?
Is LeBron
It's like-
I don't know.
relatable to anybody?
Dude,
Like,
I watched.
I thought we were
watched,
going away from like nationality
Well, I watched
type nationalism.
Space Jam 2.
oh, dangerous.
All right, Jude's got his hand up. Go ahead, Jude. We'll take a hit.
Do y'all
of
know what
this,
Giannis did today? Since he's so unrelatable, he bought 50 nuggets. He's so unrelatable. I don't know this tall. No, I don't know
didn't
why.
say
Literally,
he was
like
unrelatable.
one of the people.
I agree.
Yeah, I wasn't talking
Well,
to
I
y'all.
don't
I was
understand.
talking to this clown
Oh,
show
yeah.
on Fox Sports.
I got personal, Jude. I'm sorry. That's on me, dog.
That's it. Okay. All right.
I think Jude might be like
Jude-
closet Greek.
What? Yeah, Jude is Greek, and we didn't know it. You think that's the case?
I'm going to be
He
honest.
grows a lot of hair.
Yeah,
I would love to see Joe Burrow and this Livy Dunn be a thing.
Be
I
a
mean,
thing.
Joe Burrow it seems like the coolest
a lot of
dude.
people were saying that.
I
and it's-
wanted to hate Joe Burrow
just like-
so bad.
I couldn't
really
imagine
did.
being like one of the because both of these people have like a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
Oh, do they?
Jude-
both
Oh,
of
okay.
them.
Well, that's fine. If they're happy with each
And
other,
it's
then that's
just like
fine. But
there
the,
were so
the
many people
picture,
that were like, "Oh, like they should date," and it was like,
No.
could you imagine being Joe
It
Burrow's
was-
girlfriend? And
It was
seeing him
more
by saying
about there was questions about the offspring that would produce
Right.
out of Joe Burrow
Right.
and Living
Y'all
Dunn.
set me up for this. Y'all set me up to get dunked on for this.
I'm not dunking on
I
you.
thought they were both single, having a good
Oh,
time.
you thought they were
No.
you were together? No,
No, yeah, kind of.
I think she
I was
just
like,
saw
"Is
him
that
and was like,
J-"
"Hey, Joe, can we get a picture?" And he was like, "Yeah,
Or
we
did-
can get a picture. What's your number?"
or did Burrow
And I
see
think there
her?
was probably a few things that went on after that.
Right. And you
Matt,
think she went home with
what?
him?
Joe Burrow can get any woman he wants.
Hey, look,
Matt,
we're-
just because you would give yourself up to Joe Burrow doesn't mean that any woman would get themselves up to Joe Burrow. Okay, my
That's a-
goodness.
it's a sick burn. That's
alright.
a sick burn.
All right, so
Matt, you just got burned.
old man take of the week.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
few of those this week. I
Yeah, we
think.
got more than a few.
All right,
so
we're doing
Actually,
it.
no, we just have a few.
Get off my lawn. Did you hear me? I said get off my lawn now. Get off my lawn.
It's the old man take of the week.
yes, so the first one is I saw a couple of people saying this that they don't believe that OU or Texas
One of those people's in this room.
belongs in the SEC.
Me.
Yeah.
If OU and Texas come to the SEC, there should be no such thing as conferences anymore. Why would we even bother playing Vanderbilt, playing these teams that Arkansas, Ole Miss for a while there. Why would we play the bad teams? I would rather just see everybody in a pool, and then maybe we rotate. I play USC. Auburn plays USC. Like, you keep the big brands, but then everybody else is in like the group of 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? Like, we know these top teams are going to keep getting good players, especially with the NIL. Like what Nick Saban mentioned, the $1 million that Bryce Young's getting. Why is any other quarterback going to go to any other school besides Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, and I don't know. What am I forgetting?
I don't know.
Notre Dame. Like, they're just going to keep getting bigger. So I'd
So
rather just see like a pool of teams who can really compete with each other than watch LSU play Tulane.
If Arch Manning went to Ole Miss, he would still make the same amount of money as he was making at Alabama.
I disagree with that.
No? You don't agree?
Well, okay, Arch Manning, sure, okay, but take the Manning name off of it. What if it's Kevin White? I don't know. It seems like that's a player somewhere. That's somebody. But
That was,
anyway,
he played
He
wide
played
receiver.
for the West Virginia, and he's at the Bears. He got hurt a million times.
okay,
Yeah.
If that's your example.
okay. What random quarterback?
I actually have a
name?
good friend named Kevin White.
A generic
does.
quarterback name.
They
Quarterback.
They won the championship in basketball.
First name, last name, like your NCAA character. Okay, why would they go to Ole Miss and make $1 million, and when they could go to Alabama and immediately make $1 million?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see your
Old man take of the week. I don't want OU Texas. If OU Texas comes, conferences are completely washed.
It's an old man take of the week.
And I'm all for conferences being washed because I don't want.
I kind of am too.
I'm sick of conference championships. I think we can get rid of them, and I think it would be fine. And then if you get rid of conference championships, you can expand the playoffs.
Okay, well, you took a leap. I didn't want to get on that ride.
Well, like that's where you brought it.
When you tease the SEC championship, pulling that away from me, I kind of like it. I want it.
The
You
SEC
want-
championship isn't necessary.
I don't care. I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, but then you could just not
I-
have an SEC championship, and then both of them just go to the playoffs.
I think that all conferences have to have conference championships.
I don't agree.
If one of them's going to have it, then they all have to have them. If one
Okay.
of them is not going to have them, then none of them should have them.
I agree with that,
Okay.
but I think they all shouldn't have them. And if
I
agree,
understand what you're
if,
saying.
If any are going to have them, then they all should. I agree.
Yeah, I understand.
That's
what
the
you're
old
saying.
man take of the week.
They should
That's the old man take of the week. That's a horrible take.
No, it's
I'm
not.
coming back
No,
on
okay.
camera.
So here's why I think that is because
That's a bad take.
why have Alabama play Georgia when you could, for more fun and for more money, like they can just go both be in the playoff at 12-0, and they can just both be really good teams, and then potentially they meet in the championship.
It
game.
happens sometime. I mean,
But instead of having them play each other twice, possibly, like just have each other just play one time in a championship game.
I like the SEC championship because it crowns the SEC champion. I
get that, and it's fun for that reason.
And I understand, for
look,
the best of the SEC, but I like the idea of coming in and being able to say I'm the SEC champion. I did.
I
this.
don't disagree with that, but and I went to the SEC championship a couple years
fun.
ago when LSU beat Georgia, and it was a great time. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. But I think it would have been an even more fun game if it would have been LSU versus Georgia. Winner goes to the national championship, and it would have been a semifinal game. Because that's what it would have been.
Not already though? I mean, Auburn had the game against Georgia in 2017. Winner goes to the playoffs. Alabama got the damn bye week. I should be most anti because we would have gone to the playoffs.
No, Sam, it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been that anyway. Because if Georgia would have won that game, then LSU still makes the playoff, and Georgia makes the playoff. So it's like Georgia for Georgia it was a must-win game. For LSU, it was like I would like to win this game, but like we don't have to.
Long story short, keep OU and Texas out of the SEC. I know you guys want this. You can't have it. You can look, but you can't touch.
I think it would be like such a huge thing for the league. I think it would be nationally. I know the SEC is at a different level already, but it would make it to where, okay, this is the nail in the coffin for the NCAA. That's what it would be more than anything.
I would love that. That's fantastic.
So my other old man take of the week was based on our lists that we were putting out this week. So we were putting out a lot of like top 10 lists. A few of them were what do we do? Like the top 10 LSU football players, top 10 LSU athletes of all time. Yeah. We did a hardest hitters, things like that. And we had one that was the hardest hitters. Yeah. Wait, maybe not. No. Top 10 I did one today. It was the top 10 each decade.
No,
right. And somebody commented and they said, and I've had a few of these, Jacob Hester should have been the 2000s.
Right. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I think he was kind of joking, but
the first one was joking.
But then when I said something about it, he said, well, for anything, like he was a great Tiger.
Right.
And I thought the worst at this point. I was like, okay, is this guy just saying Jacob Hester because let's just say what it is. He's a white running back. Do you think that was what it was?
I don't know. I mean, it was like, the fourth down game is like.
Do you know what I mean though?
No, yeah.
Like there's a lot of people that gravitate towards Jacob Hester, and I get that he's celebrated and I celebrate him.
Sure.
But like, do some people celebrate him the wrong way?
Yes. Yes. No, I'll just go ahead and say yes. I think so.
I just can't get over this that you would pick Jacob Hester over. I think I had Glenn Dorsey on the
Glenn
list.
Dorsey.
And
they were on the same team. Like, how are you really going to say that Jacob Hester had more of an impact on that team?
And I'm like, Josh Reed, Jamarcus Russell.
I honestly thought Jamarcus Russell had a good shot to win the 2000s.
Okay.
The 2000. I mean, both those seasons were really good
I
seasons.
find this is why I stopped posting a lot towards Facebook, is because we had a lot of Facebook lovers of Jacob Hester in the group.
Yep.
And I love Jacob Hester. I love Jacob. He's great. We'll try to get him on the podcast, but like, it's just a weird dynamic.
People seem to remember that differently than how it went.
They really gravitate towards Jacob Hester for some odd reason.
Right. They literally once a day they watch all four of the fourth downs or five or however many it was.
Yeah, he was a great Tiger.
And then they also go and they watch the Tennessee.
He was a Tiger
truck.
through and through. Yes, Sam's got his hand.
Yes, sir.
Do you think it's because he's white?
What?
Yes, I do.
Yes, we do. We think it's because he's white.
Because he's white.
Yeah.
Not to
hard
be like
player
the
though.
woke guy or anything. I'm far from that, but
I'm like, dude,
I
I even thought about it when I posted the list because it's like a list of from now until
literally
like
I
wouldn't 30s.
Like I don't want to turn this into like a shitting on Jacob Hester segment, but
it's
it's not. We love.
But like,
I love Jacob Hester.
I would take the very next year. I would take Charles Scott over Jacob Hester.
Jacob
'Cause
Hester
I thought Charles Scott was a good
the
running
thing
back.
about Hester, he gave 100% every single time he stepped on the field, and that's what people like.
Grit. Absolute grit.
Did I repeat something?
No,
Oh.
it's just like
You loved watching him play because you knew that guy
Right.
cared.
So
you
what
knew
you're
he
saying is
wanted
like
to,
he was a
to
true
win.
Tiger.
so he
a true
showed
target.
that he cared where other people didn't show that they cared.
Right.
Well,
Like,
no,
that's
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying.
saying.
So like when
that
Jeremy
part-
Hill ran for like 2,500 yards.
No, I'm
in
not
2
saying
years,
other people's didn't.
What was he showing?
But Jacob Hester's kind of came through the television to where like you knew that
It's
he
because
was,
he was bright.
okay. Well, I tried to make a joke and this got kind of carried off, and I tried to bring it back to like piping up Jacob Hester. Whatever.
Right. Yeah. No,
I
we're just
mean-
not in that mood right now.
I don't get it though. Like I was worried because I was posting. I think I had 3 black players on the list.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Wait. Okay. Well, the problem is, you go back to like
and
30s
one of
through
them was
60s. It's
one
like-
of them was Glenn
I don't
Dorsey,
know what
and
to
then
tell you.
somebody chimes in and says, "Yeah, but I know one of them's Glenn Dorsey," and then somebody chimes in and says, "Jacob Hester."
It's like, well, I mean, I gotta get rid of all of them.
Wow.
Wait, no, that's
Glenn
not
Dorsey
right. No, you
was
had-
when Glenn Dorsey was at his prime.
You had 4 because you had Stingley, Dorsey, Falk, and wait, no. My bad. You had 3
Maybe we should cut this.
because I was thinking, no, you had Jerry Snowball. You didn't have Charles Alexander.
Jerry
Someone
Snowball
wanted Charles.
was
Alexander.
wild.
Yeah, let's you. Jude's got the ball.
He was
Let his
like-
job
I was
in.
thinking you had Charles Alexander.
Jude, chime in. What do you got here?
Tell me about
Oh.
Doc Fenton.
Oh Lord.
I like Hester because I'll give you 2 reasons why. One, he's from the 318, 31 great,
31
just
great.
like George Truly. And I like him because
Where is that?
he
What is that?
had one move. Ready? It's he put his head in forward. That's why I like Jacob Hester. He should not be over Glenn
your
Dorsey.
guy.
Glenn Dorsey
Right, that's a
He's so many
that's an objection
awards.
today, dude.
All right, so Glenn Dorsey should have been the guy, right?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay. Thank God.
Thank you, Jude.
It's
But I
either-
do
look,
feel like we got
It should have either been Jacob Hester or Matt Flynn. That's my opinion.
for what?
It should have
top,
been one of the
top player in the 2000s.
Should have been Jacob Hester or Matt Flynn or
When did
Matt Mock
When did Patrick Peterson start?
or
Patrick Peterson started
or
in
Richard
08,
Dixon.
Okay, but him.
but ended in 2010.
Well, Patrick Peterson then. Like
well,
what?
we caught some flack on this because Peterson's best year to me was 2010.
No, and that's true. That's
Sure, it was his best year, but like.
but
Patrick
so that would have
Peterson.
been the
But he
top
wasn't a 20
2010s.
yeah.
He just
But he
ended.
was on
I
the
think
team.
he just ran into a weird year.
Yeah, he
So, like, if,
I don't know.
if it's in the
He's-
tens, then
I
I,
think
have
if-
to give it to Burrow.
If you would have put him in the 2000s, I don't think anybody would have batted an eye, though.
Oh, somebody would have batted an eye. These guys are out.
Well,
for
Jacob
blood.
Hester. You're forgetting about Jacob Hester.
These guys
obviously.
are out for blood on these
Right,
lists.
yeah, no, we put Pat Pete and people were like,
Oh my god.
"Oh, you're shitting on Jacob Hester."
yeah. Like somebody said, what did Pat Pete do to chap y'all's ass or something like
What
that?
I want people to do is go back and make their own list. You go through and make your own list. Don't just
Well,
tell.
okay,
Don't
here's-
yell
Yes.
at us.
Everybody
make-
tries to tell us
Here-
who we should add, and I said, "Well, who do you want to replace?"
Yeah, you
Over-
go through
like,
and make
over
your
who?
list.
Right.
Crickets.
Yeah, over the it was for the hardest hitters. And
Okay.
people kept saying
Hot is hitting.
people were furious that Jamal Adams wasn't on there. I was like, who
And
on this
Steve Rehash.
who on this list doesn't hit harder than Jamal Adams?
Right.
And Jamal Adams is
Great
the best.
hitter.
He's the best safety in LSU history. I
Right.
would say so. But I wouldn't say he's a harder hitter than any of those 10 guys that we listed.
Yeah. I mean, and so Ryan Clark.
People were also
commented on
pissed that Jacob Hester wasn't on that list.
Yeah, they weren't. He wasn't on that list. And then I made a joke that Jacob Hester was on the fastest 10 players list.
Right. And people were like,
And
oh,
people were
yeah,
like,
great
Jacob
call."
Hester?
You
Yeah.
morons.
Then nobody understood
Absolute
my joke.
idiots.
They didn't get my joke at all. And I'm like, how
I mean,
old am I? Do
Story of
people
your
not
life,
understand
really, on social media.
that
There, Matt.
nobody understands me?
Well, I didn't want to get that deep. I was just going to say
Well,
your jokes.
my
on social
my
media.
go-to response for that was that Jacob Hester's his speed was from his heart, not his legs.
True. And you saw him on television. It came through.
That's right.
He has the heart of a tiger, and tigers are really fast.
Well, he's a true tiger. You
Right.
know,
No, yeah, absolutely. In every sense of the word.
every time he just put his head down. Just this
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Just sculling players.
All right, so great. I thought it was a great media day.
Yeah.
Because it was you had the actual people there, first of all.
That's
so
nice.
That's great.
That's always nice.
I thought the energy from like Greg Sankey speaking and all that kind of stuff that actually carried over to a little bit. There's a lot of vaccination talk.
Fun.
Yeah.
Always fun to talk about vaccines.
Real quick, how
Yes.
much do we? I mean, Greg Sankey, I think he's the best. Like, I have nothing bad to say about that man. Like, I think he's doing great in the SEC.
I think the past couple of years he's been pretty good.
Yeah, I
would
think
say
he's
so.
phenomenal.
If you would ask me during like 2016 with that Florida debacle with the hurricane and everything,
That was bad.
I would have told you
He
that Greg
had no
Sankey
balls at all.
But now he
Go
does.
shove it.
He
has balls
He's
now.
he's a leader now. He
Yeah.
makes decisions, and he even like addresses people, like the reporters, like local reporters that he knows by their first name,
Mhm.
and like
Y'all saw that comment he made about Ross Dellinger? That was funny
No.
as hell.
Yeah, I saw a little bit. Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
asked him about weed. I think it was Jacques. that asked him about
Jacques
weed.
with
The
the
drug-
weed question off the
drug
He
top.
said
twisting.
one thing you can always confirm at media days each year is that Ross Dellinger will know where the bourbon is at the at the hotel, and I've never gotten a media question, or he said something like that. I mean, a weed question.
We'll get Ross on a Durante Jones Bourbon Club.
Oh,
We
God,
have to have
that's
that.
that's such a miss that we haven't been
I
doing
know
that.
that is a home run,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what? But also, Greg Sankey was. I don't know where I was even going with this.
well, you were wrapping it up, and I interjected.
What about Greg Sankey? What do you do?
No, he was
What
talking
do you-
about
what do you
something
think-
else.
how do
I
you
just
feel about
lost it all together.
Well, you
I'm
were
so old.
You were talking about how nobody gets you a second ago. Do you want to go back to that?
That's
Matt?
true. Nobody gets me. Nobody understands in me at all.
Tiniest violin in the world.
Yeah, nobody gets me at all. On Twitter, nobody understands my jokes.
Mhm.
My lists, nobody understands them.
It's just really tough being a straight white male. Isn't
It is, bro. It's the worst.
And where do you even go in this world?
I'm trying to wear basketball jerseys, and I don't think I can. I don't think I'm allowed.
We used to have all the money and land, and we still do, but it's not as fun now.
Wow.
That's a Bo Burnham quote right there.
Hey guys, check out. I will say this. let's end this on this. Check out One Team Media. One Team Media on Twitter and Instagram. Actually, Instagram is One Team Brand. I need to get that switched over. But there's a lot of things in the works for One Team Media. You guys check it out right now. Join the Facebook page. The YouTube page for One Team One Podcast, because we're going to be posting a lot of stuff on there as well.
Yeah,
along with this show. So this show will be on that YouTube page as well. We appreciate everybody for joining in today. And
shout out to Jester, man.
Jacob Hester.
This is a anti-hate podcast. So Jacob,
Yeah.
no,
This is a podcast
shade.
for the people.
A,
Bro.
a people's podcast.
The people's podcast.
We're just getting opinions out there, you know, one way or the other.
But
Look,
Jude, what's your
Hey,
thoughts
there
on
might
Jacob
be some of you
Hester?
that hate these opinions that we've been throwing out there, but like
That's fine.
just let us know and we'll improve on that next time.
Jude, what's your thoughts?
Jake, you're influential and important. Doesn't correlate with, like, the most talented, decorated player.
Is he talking about?
I
us
mean,
specifically?
for
Are you
me,
talking about me, or are you talking about
Let's talk-
Jacob?
Jacob Hester. I'm not talking about.
Okay.
not talking about Wash Hat.
Jesus.
Whoa!
Hey,
Easy.
hey, Jude's been getting pissed off. We've been cutting him
Yeah,
off all
right,
night.
Yeah.
He's getting
Yikes.
he's getting a little fiery.
Yeah, now you're firing all cylinders.
I'm coming. I'm not backing down.
Perfect. All right, we appreciate Jude in the background. Jude the intern. Appreciate Sam over here. Sam's our producer. We got Jack over here. Devin's doing work. William's doing work. We have a full team of One Team One Podcast. We appreciate everybody for joining us tonight. And again, it's been One Team, One Podcast.
Logan out.